And video 5, our final video for chapter 4, we're going to be looking at matte effects. And with this, I put together a little demonstration using a camera, a light, and then the Luma track, which I'll show after this, and then just a back solid. So I'll kind of play it just to see how you can play around. I just did this pretty quick to show what you can do. So as it goes across, we can see that I used a picture of campus, and the text is kind of what I'm using as the matte track to showcase that that image. And so then obviously I did a light across and have a little bit of movement. So this is very basic, 4 second clip. So going into that, I'm going to show you really quick. We'll jump into that layer. So what you can do, and with your matte effects, again, it's going to be right next to your blend. So, yesterday we were talking about your modes of how to blend layers. I meant yesterday as in the video before. So we go from our mode, next to it is track matte. And again, if you don't see that, go to, right click and go to columns, and you should be able to pick up, your modes are that down here, going into your toggle switch will bring up your track matte. So with this, if you open up your track mattes, you're going to see that there's really 5 options, but 4 options you can choose from. So you have your no track matte, and then you have your alpha matte, animation, your alpha matte, the inverted, the Luma matte, and Luma inverted. So with your alphas are going to really be dealing with the layer below or with above. So like it's going to be doing this one. So if I do the alpha matte, notice that it's going to be taking everything with that picture behind. So I'm using this text. So let me go ahead and just I'm actually not the blend. I'm going to go ahead and just do no track matte. So as we see, we've got this text, and I'll explain why I put the 4-color gradient on it in a second. But with that, if I go and say I want to just do an alpha matte, it's going to take the animation of what's going on behind it. And actually, as you can see, it mutes the eye, but it's saying I want to alpha on this channel. So as we can see, this image comes in here. Now if I do the inverted, we notice that it's going to then take that image and then just take that alpha, which is the transparency of the text. So then that way you have just that of what you're dealing with in the track matte. Now when you get to the Luma, with your Luma keys, if we notice that with your track mattes of your alphas, it's just going to say, looking at kind of the transparency, it's really not dealing with anything of colors. It's just dealing with your alpha channels. With your luminance, with the Luma, that's going to be dealing more with your with your colors and dealing with the pixels. So that's kind of why I put, and I'll break this down in a second. With when I get to the Luma, notice that kind of has, and compared to the alpha, it has this kind of, you can tell that the lower part of it has a little bit of transparency. So and let me go back to the alpha. The alpha is just picking up all the solid color. All right, it doesn't read all these different colors, but the Luma will pick up the luminance, and so we can see that it actually is picking up all these different colors. And same with the animation right there, so it's still kind of in there. So that's why I picked the 4-color gradient. Now, watch this. So if I actually go here and let's just mute this, notice that now it doesn't pick up those different colors. So that's kind of where the luminance is going to change and make a difference. So that's kind of why I put that one in there, is to kind of have that little bit of color, so that when we come in here, I can still kind of see almost that gradient and how the Luma is affecting that. So that's really, the matte effects in a nutshell. Now, something that's nice is knowing that, you don't have to use text. You can use shapes. So like with this, I think I was working on something just for fun. So bear with me. I'm going to kind of go through something real fast. I'm actually going to take this down, and I'm going to create a shape. And so I think I used this one time on one of my lower thirds. I think I showed you guys, and that was the one for, I think, the university lower third that I did. Now, let me go underneath that. There we go. All right. So you can do kind of still, depending on how you order it, you can get your Luma. So you can do this with a shape. You can use it with masks. Again, it's knowing, how you want to set it up. But I think most people will you'll typically use, a text in order to put that text on top, and then whatever you want to show through that, or vice versa. But you can use shapes. So if I wanted to put something else behind this, make this pre-compose this as something and then put it behind there. So if I maybe wanted to go, hey, I'm going to let me grab the other layer, cancel. Let's just pre-compose this as, I don't know, chap. I'll just put rec chap. Do a little bit of abbreviation. And if I come back up here and put the chapel, I can now see that I've just created really quick that. And it gives a little bit of style, so maybe now I can put text over top of this. Maybe I wanted to put a text. And I do what I always do. Didn't start typing. So if I put, and I'll have to lower that font, obviously. So let me do this. I'm only going to see some of it, as you noticed. We'll grab all that, and we'll say I want it to be, let's do 54. Actually, let's do 70 because it's going to be a little bit bigger. Okay, and really can't see that, so maybe I'll change the font or the color. Play around with the stroke. Probably only do one. Maybe I'll stretch it out. Not really a fan of this font right now, obviously, because it's not the university font. So something like that. So again, you can use it as a background. So as you notice, all the different ones. So this works well. You know what I mean? Playing around with something like that for what you can use for TrackMet. So again, that's pretty much everything you're going to be learning through the semester. Now it's just trying to figure out how you want to apply, your effects, what you can do with, your blend modes, your animation, moving, camera. So noticing in that this one, obviously I used a camera, very basic, really quick. I'll jump into the multiple views, but with this, I kind of, as you go along, you can just see on the left, watch the left here, I can see that I'm just kind of pulling the camera, and it's just kind of rocking almost back forth. So, but yeah, the animation, this is still moving through that. You might not see it, but it is kind of giving that a little bit of effect with the light, and the light is also moving. I'll go ahead and zoom in so you can see this. Zoom out. Right here's the light. So notice as the light is moving too, it's moving from kind of behind the text to in front to the side. So again, that's pretty much everything. We're going to be working on exercise and then going into your final project, and you have to be using a lot of these different effects, but that's really everything for a basic rundown of After Effects and what you can do. And from there, it would be really just challenging yourself to apply all sorts of different talents and skills that you can use in After Effects. So hopefully you enjoyed the 4 chapters and have learned a lot. Obviously, I'll be looking over your shoulders, helping you out when you have questions, but want to keep challenging yourself for that 30-second commercial for your final project. So good luck and have fun.